If you're a single woman over 40 looking for Mr. Right and you're ready to learn the most underrated dating skill to save time and heartache, you're in the right place. In this episode, as an intuitive love coach, I'm sharing all about manifestation, what it is, what it isn't, and how to use it to find lasting love. You don't want to miss this. Welcome to episode 8. Today we're going to start a little mini series on manifestation tools for love. I've been doing intuitive healing work for over 20 years personally and 18 years professionally. I have a deep understanding of my own intuition, and I've been teaching clients for years how to use their intuition and talking about the overly misunderstood manifestation. There are so many people out there that talk about it, and I don't really shout it from the rooftops, but it's just one of my tools that I use for finding love and helping my clients. It's really infused in all of the courses and meditations that I put out there in the world to help you. Before I get into that, if you want to learn how to use your intuition for dating so you can stop second guessing and start choosing love from deep self-trust, then I encourage you to check out my intuitive dating activation course. It's 4 audio modules walking you through intuition, how to access it, how to strengthen it, and how to come up with an intuitive dating plan. And it comes with 7 chakra healing meditations, all connected to a goddess for each chakra. So it's super cool and fun to go through those guided journeys. And you'd be joining over 2,700 students who love the course and got a lot out of it for their love life and honestly just their own deep connection to self. And I'll be putting a link in the show notes for that so you can check it out. My first manifestation tool, which is called Archetypes. What are archetypes? Archetypes are universal recurring symbols or characters or patterns of behavior that appear across cultures and time periods in literature, mythology, and psychology. You might have heard of Carl Jung, who was a Swiss psychiatrist, and he developed the concept of the collective unconscious, which proposes that archetypes are inherited innate patterns of thought and behavior. Common archetype examples would be the hero, the shadow, the trickster, the mother figure, and the wise old man. Someone that I've really used as a mentor over the years with books and her oracle cards is Caroline Myss. She's got an extensive collection of books and she talks a lot about archetypes, and I just love how she goes into it. And you can access archetypes through her oracle cards, and I was using those for years to tap into it, and it's just a very fascinating field and to dive into if you really love that intuitive, deeply subconscious type of work. That's what I really am all about. Yes, you need a strategy. Yes, you need a dating plan, and I provide all of that strategy. But you also need that inner work. You need to connect to your intuition. You need to use these tools for deep self-discovery to really find the love that you're looking for. That's a lasting love. That's not having you running around chasing your tail and going around in circles and dating the same guy in a different body every time and just feeling like, why am I going around in circles like this? If you're feeling like that and you're listening to this, you're definitely in the right place. We dive into those hidden realms and the deep part of you that knows all the answers, and I want you to be able to access it. There's nothing better than using archetypes for this. If you think about one of the characters I was talking about, you could also think of it as kind of a persona, something like the hero or the warrior. I've used the warrior quite a bit in my life because I was just riddled with self-doubt, and I grew up in an environment of narcissism. And so I was not allowed to really have my sense of self. It took me many years and some very deep, profound work to find myself. And using these archetypes was the best thing I've ever done. Using the warrior archetype, for example, and we're going to get into exactly how to do this, but just as an overview, I used the warrior to help connect. My warrior archetype was connecting me to my inner confidence, my sense of self, and my deep trust in myself. And that's what started to change everything, because I was able to actually make decisions and choices from a space of trust and feeling like I was supported and held within myself, and listening to my intuition, listening to my heart. Working with archetypes really, really helped me with that. Where do you start? There are 2 ways to start getting into archetypal work. Of course, you can read about it, like I said, with Caroline Myss. You can go and read Carl Jung books, and just even Googling archetypes, you'll just find a whole new world opening up for you. If you want practical ways to actually dive right into it, I'm going to give you 2 ways today. One is through meditations. I love doing guided meditations. I have a whole shop full of guided meditations on my website, and it's in the show notes if you wanted to go on any of these guided journeys. It's a deep, introspective, tuning in, but also going on a journey. I would call my love journey, I always call it the Shiro's journey, because it involves so many sort of classic barriers and having to overcome things, and like a Star Wars type of epic saga where I had to go through these deep, shadowy places within myself and find who I was and overcome these barriers of who I thought I was. And doing that through meditation was just so beautiful and fulfilling and also fun. If you want to make this fun, this is the best place to start, with a nice little meditation. You don't have to be an expert, even if you're just dabbled in meditation a little bit. This is not about being perfectly still or doing anything where you have to follow a million umpteen steps to do it. This is going to be super simple. You can try this now if you want, or you can save this recording and this episode for later when you have a place where you can sit down and close your eyes and go within. So obviously we're not doing this in any space where you can't close your eyes. It's better if you can have some quiet time and be in a nice, safe space. If you're ready to dive in and you're at that place now, you'd find a place to get comfortable. You can be laying down, you could be seated. You're going to close your eyes and put your hand on your heart. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths to settle in. You can follow along with me if you're able. So taking 1 breath in and just letting it out, and start to settle into your body, feeling like you're coming home, you're getting into a comfortable space within your body, allowing yourself to sink into the couch or sink into the chair or the bed. Take another deep breath in and release. Now you can almost feel the tension melting away from that second breath. And so we just do 1 more to settle in, to get in that space. Take another breath in. Letting go of the tension in the body, being aware, doing a scan from head to toe. It could be a quick scan. This is not something that has to take hours and hours. I know I don't have the patience for that, so I wouldn't be recommending something that takes about 45 minutes to do. When you feel a nice settled space, you feel relatively relaxed, you've let go of some tense muscles, then you're going to, behind your closed eyes, I want you to imagine that you are dropping your awareness and your attention into your chest. It's almost like you're going from your head into your heart, and you're literally dropping into your chest area, which is the energetic heart, the entire chest. And once you've got your awareness and attention in the chest, I want you to imagine that you're going into a space that is called the sacred heart. The sacred heart is where you can imagine yourself to be in a very safe and sacred space, meaning that it is yours alone, that it contains your deepest feeling of self. And even if you don't really know what I'm talking about right now, just kind of humor me and go along with me. Imagine yourself with your eyes closed. You're going on a little journey, and whether you can see yourself or not is fine. It's still happening, even if some people say, I can't see anything. I don't know. I can't see. It's not really about seeing, physically seeing behind your eyes, or having a vision, or being clear and seeing a visual. This is about intention, that you're going on a journey and you're going into this space, whether you can see it or not. Some people will they'll start to feel a sensation of being in a deeply profound and safe space. Some people will feel different and lighter or connected somehow. Other people might see colors. Whatever is happening for you is perfectly fine. It's absolutely perfect the way it is. We're going into our sacred heart, For me, it is a beautiful garden. When I'm in that space, I can see or sense in my mind's eye that I'm in a garden and I'm sitting on a beautiful metal bench, an old-fashioned carved metal bench, sort of like a wrought iron, artistically creative bench. In front of me, there's all these beautiful wildflowers. It's a wild garden with beautiful trees, and I have a lot of shade and I have a lot of protection, but also I can feel the warm sun on my face. Start to fill in, even if you can't see it perfectly. Fill in where you are and get a sense of where is your sacred heart space. It could be a field, it could be by the ocean, whatever feels really good for you. Start to flesh out your sacred space, your sacred heart. Once you have an idea of where you are, and maybe you're sitting on a bench, or maybe you're sitting on the sand, sitting in the grass, holding the grass in your hands, when you have a sensation that you're in this space, I want you to call forward an archetype. First, pick a struggle that you have with dating or with love and relationships. Maybe it's a sense of feeling not confident, having self-doubt. Maybe you're very confused as to who's the right person for you, or you are unable to express yourself authentically. Whatever is your biggest struggle at this point, I want you to say, I call forward the archetype who will help me with XYZ, whatever it is. Help me connect to my confidence, will help me feel more attractive and desirable, will help me feel clear. Whatever it is that you're working with, you're calling forward an archetype to help with that. As you do that, you may start to sense or see or feel a presence. For me, for example, I will see usually a goddess of some kind, and that's why my meditations that I do, that I've created, are usually attached to some kind of a goddess. For example, Isis or Aphrodite or Athena. And they come through when I ask for a certain type of help. Whatever is coming for you is perfect. It doesn't have to look a certain way or be a certain way. It could be an animal. Maybe you're seeing some kind of power animal that is very distinctive and very special to you, like a dolphin or a bear or something that you feel very drawn to. It could be a crystal. Maybe you see a beautiful collection of crystals in the earth, or maybe you see it in the side of a mountain, in the stone. You start to see this beautiful crystal, because crystals of the earth are very, very much alive. They have a beautiful energetic frequency. They have an intelligence to them. They are very wise. So if you're calling forward an archetype and it shows up as a crystal, that is perfect and beautiful. And the last thing I'll say is you don't have to actually know what it is. Maybe it's just this glowing light. It's a beautiful color. You see a glowing emerald green orb or something. You don't have to know what it is. You're going to just start an interaction with this being or this archetype or whatever you want to call it. Start to observe what it is and what it feels like when this archetype is with you. At this point, you can ask for a message. You can say, what do I need to know? Or what are you here to tell me? Or why are you specifically here? What is your particular wisdom for me? And then listen and observe. Spend a few minutes just in wherever you are, your garden, by the ocean, in the field, whatever your sacred space is. Maybe you're in a cabin in the woods. And just listen and observe what is happening right now. What is the message? And the message doesn't have to be a verbal message. Most often when you're dealing with archetypes, when you're dealing with the subconscious, it is very much symbolic. It could be slightly cryptic, something that you have to sort of decipher later on, but you're just going to remember what you see and what you hear. Maybe you will hear a message, you'll hear a whisper, you'll see some writing in the air, or you'll just have a sense of something. Just take it all in and observe. When you feel ready, you can start to come back into the room. You can wiggle your fingers and toes and come back fully present. Thanking the archetype for helping you, thanking the archetype for showing up. and starting the dialogue with you, for going on this journey with you. When you feel complete, you can fully open your eyes and then reach for your journal. I love journaling. I've been journaling since I was 13 years old. It is literally the life-changing tool. It is also the medium that I use for manifesting, for my intentions, for my intuition, all the things is through my writing, and usually with pen and paper. So I like to actually write with physically writing. I do write with my computer as well, with my laptop, but I mostly love pen and paper because it really connects you to your body and brings through the messages more clearly, for me anyway. You do whatever is comfortable for you, and take your journal and start writing down what you observed. Which archetype came forward? What was it? What did they look like? What were they wearing? Or what kind of shape, animal or goddess or person was it? Maybe it's a loved one. Maybe it's just a symbolic person. There's no right or wrong here. This is just about you creating this bridge and communication system with your intuition, with your heart's desires, and to help you to overcome your struggles and to navigate through your patterns so that you can create new experiences for yourself, so that you can find and date in a way that is intentional, that is joyful, that, you're able to find the love that you're looking for. This is what we are asking for help for you, and that's what the archetype is here to do. So whatever you can write down about what you felt or observed, it could be a release of emotion. Maybe the archetype helped you to release some pent-up emotion, to clear your heart, or to let go of a painful experience, or help you to feel and see things in a new way. Often archetypes will give you a higher perspective so that you say, wow, I really feel differently about that. I can see that from a totally different point of view. If it wasn't a clear message, how did you feel? How do you feel right now? For example, the feeling in your heart, maybe you had a visual of something. Maybe you saw a beautiful rainbow or a waterfall, or a symbol came through of some kind, an animal again. What popped into your mind afterwards? Now that you're back in your room, in your space, and back in your body again, what is popping into your mind? Is there a memory? Is there a directive like, oh, I've got to go check out that new coffee shop, or I really need to tell my mom about a certain thing that happened? Follow all of those things that pop into your head. And I say pop in because in quotes, because that is the insight. That's the guidance. That is the archetype giving you the guidance. Follow everything. Write it all down. Spend some time diving into your experience here. Even though this is short, again, you can go through a much longer guided meditation on my website with the Goddess Chakra meditations and the Intuitive Dating Activation course. They are longer and they're more involved. But even what we did today is going to be life-changing for you in terms of making that connection, making that first step towards getting the help you need from you, from your higher self, from the universe, from God, whatever you want to call it. You're tapping in and you're tuning in to a new clear sense of information, clear perspective, something that is beyond your struggles, your personality, your fears, to give you that bigger picture and something to get you out of those patterns that you're in. Also, in the coming weeks, observe what happens when you interact with potential partners or you go on the dating apps, because this is going to be your guidance that has been activated today to ask you to follow that guidance. Whatever's happening, however you're feeling, if you get an insight or you feel like talking to someone or going on a date or not going on a date, follow that. Check in with yourself a week later and say, how do I feel today? What has changed within me? How are people interacting with you that feels different after a week? For example, when I first started working with archetypes, I came across my rebellious inner teenager who showed up with a hoodie on, tied closely to hide her face. She was really angry. I asked her what she wanted to tell me, and she was just very closed off and angry and didn't want to follow what I wanted to do, and that was to find a relationship. And because she never had a voice, so I asked her to tell me what she wanted to say. And I gave her that space to witness her. And the teenage rebellion archetype was the most powerful exchange. And I healed so much within me. I started to let go of the compulsion to rebel against myself. And another way to put that is self-sabotage. I just started to let that go because I had given this space for my rebellious teenager archetype to speak, to communicate, to have a voice. And that changed everything. It changed everything about what I wanted to do, who I wanted to interact with, making choices that were good for me. It really set me on the path to change a lot of things. And that's how powerful archetypes can be, because they access that hidden part of your unconscious mind or your subconscious. And the more you access it, the easier it becomes to hear that inner voice, your intuition, and the clearer and more intentional you become. This is one of my best practices for manifesting love because it taps into the deepest part of your heart and intuitive guidance system, and it opens up a whole new world for you. It helps lead you directly to where you want to go and what kind of life and love you want to create. It's just that simple and that powerful. If you're ready to go deeper, check out my intuitive dating activation course, which teaches you how to use your intuition to find love. And you get the 7 guided meditations, the love goddess chakra meditations that will give you a taste of the journey within to access your archetypal goddess for each chakra. You'll actually get to go on a guided journey with me, and they're very powerful, and it's a life-changing experience, as my clients have told me. I'll put the link in the show notes, and I can't wait to hear about it. If you ever want to email me and let me know how things are going, you can go to info@trulyeleanor.com and let me know. I'll see you next time. We're going to do part 2 of my manifesting tools to find love. And remember, love is closer than you think.